Now, the other area is wealth building. Wealth building requires a key ingredient, and that is discipline. Discipline is a key ingredient when it comes to wealth building. Now, I got to tell you, I don't like discipline. Anybody that just says, I like discipline, you're kind of weird. You know? That's kind of a sickness, you know? I mean, I like discipline. Yeah, I don't want to go there. That's out there a little bit, okay? But I'll tell you what, I do like in my life what discipline produces. When I am disciplined in taking care of my body, I like that I feel better and I'm a little thinner. When I am disciplined in taking care of my money, I like that I have some. No discipline seems pleasant at the time. We can all admit that. When I go out running, some mornings it's early and I don't want to get up, that isn't pleasant at the time. But when I get to work later that day after doing a few miles, I feel better, don't I? Same thing with my money. No discipline seems pleasant when I'm doing it, but then when I need a little money to buy a car or take care of my child or send my kid to college or something, I've got some. It's not pleasant at the time, but it produces a harvest. That is powerful. Building wealth is a marathon. It is not a sprint. You can't get rich quick. Everybody's looking for a shortcut. Everybody's watching midnight cable TV. I'm going to order this tape set, and they've got magic pills, and it's easy. And it's not easy. It's not easy. Building wealth is hard. Otherwise, everybody would be rich. It's tough, but it's worth it. And anybody that tells you it's easy, and anybody tells you they've got a shortcut, and anything that sounds too good to be true is, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. If it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true. That's the process. Wealth is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And we live in a culture where we don't want to focus on anything. The whole culture's ADD. You know what I'm talking about? We just, we're all crazy, you know? We can't keep our eyes on nothing. I mean, talking on a cell phone, putting on the makeup, driving with your knee. I mean, come on. Get out of the left lane. You know? I mean, come on. Right? Concentrate on something. Focus on something. And if you do that long term, that's a marathon. And wealth is a marathon. Anybody that tells you it's a sprint is not smart. Stay away from them. It's not going to work. All the wealthy people I talk to say, Dave, it's a process over time. Here's an example. What if you saved your pizza money or your cable money? $100 a month. Now, some of you spend $150 on cable and $600 on pizza. But average, let's just say you took $100 a month and you were to save that from age 25 to age 65, your working lifetime. And you were to invest that steady every single month in a good growth stock mutual fund, and we'll talk about that in the investment lesson, and you were to average 12% on your money. If you were to save just $100 a month, at age 65, you'd have $1,176,000. You'd be a millionaire. Say wow. No one in our culture should retire broke. And yet many, many people are. $100! Dave, well, I hadn't seen $100. That's because you got car payments and furniture payments. Because you can save up and pay for them. $100 is not that much money in most people's household. $100. And you retire with dignity. Just $100. I was speaking to a group of high school seniors a while back, and the teacher said, Dave, talk to these kids about what smoking costs. So we discussed it in there for a few minutes, and we came up and we said, well, gosh, you know, what if it was like a pack a day? And we said, okay, maybe $3 a day. So let's do the math a minute. $3 times 30 days is what? 3 times 30 is $90 invested. So if you were to invest that much from age 16 to age 76, you'd have $11.6 million. This kid in the back goes, whoa, dude, what do you do with that much money? I said, you change your family tree. Maybe this time it'll fork. Now, I don't smoke, but I have been known to go get me a cup of coffee at Starbucks. And that's like, a friend of mine calls it $5. Right? What if you spent $5 a day at Starbucks? Here's the numbers on that one from age 16 to 76. That's starting early with your coffee. But that's $150 a month. That's $19 million. That coffee smells bitter to me. There's a problem here. You have to think through this. Now, how am I going to do this? How am I going to build this discipline? I got to tell you, I'm just like you. I'm busy. I'm running in 19 directions. I have to have kind of autopilot discipline. So I used pre-authorized checking withdrawals, which is a good way to build discipline. Because if it zaps my account, if those mutual funds come along to my account and they go smack, right? That account just gets hit really hard at the first of the month, and it automatically moves over to that mutual fund. It happens whether I'm out of town. It happens whether I'm on vacation. It happens whether I'm too busy to sit down and do the checkbook. It happens. And my savings is automatic every month. I need that discipline. I need that automated process to be able to save that way. That is a good way to do it.
So what's the secret to saving? Focus and discipline. So hard and such a bummer if you love to shop. That's why you reorder your finances to give first, save second, and then spend last. Discipline requires that you stay on course. Hard to do with all the advertisements and marketing campaigns that are thrown at us every day. They try to take every dollar we have by making us see our wants as needs. Time to stop. You have to stay on course. It's hard when you also have the demands of peer pressure, fitting in the latest fashion trends. Trends, fashions, and the latest fad will always change. That's why you can't let these things sidetrack you. If you combine the habit of saving with staying out of debt, you're freeing up your largest wealth building tool, your income.
And what we're trying to create here with wealth building is a compound interest which creates a mathematical explosion. Now, compound interest works like this. Let's say that we had $1,000. And to make the math easy, so you can help me right quick, let's say we made 10% on the $1,000. 10% of $1,000 is $100. Now, if I left that money in the account, the 1,000 plus the 100, the next year I would have 1,100, wouldn't I? And I would earn 10% on that, which would be $110, right? So the next year I'd have $1,210, and it keeps building up. And every time it builds up, it gets a little more interest every time, because you're not only getting interest on the principal, but you're getting interest on the interest that you've built up. And that is a powerful, powerful process. The trick is you've got to start right now. You got to get with it. We got to get these emergency fund out of the way and start paying cash for things so that we don't have any debt, so that we can build some wealth. And as we start really doing our investing, we get to see the power of compound interest. Ben and Arthur discovered that. Ben is, well, he's a bright young man. At 19 years old, he decided to start saving $2,000 a year. He did that from age 19 all the way to age 26. Now, at age 26, how much money did Ben add to his account personally? He used to put in $2,000, but at age 26 or at age 27, how much did he put in? Zero. He didn't put another dime in, did he? And after that, his interest just earned interest, and his money earned interest, and the snowball kept rolling over and over and over. Now, his brother Arthur doesn't put any money in because he's out playing and goofing off and spending everything he makes, right? He acts like he's the government or something. He spends more than he makes. And so he finally wakes up at 27 years old and says, I'm going to save $2,000 just like my brother. And he does that from age 27 all the way to age 65. Now think with me on this. Arthur, who has put in $78,000, is behind Ben, who put in only $16,000 by over $700,000. Let me say that again so you get it. The guy who put in $78,000 got beat by the guy who put in $16,000 by $700,000 just because the other guy started earlier. Wow! Some of you are going, Dave, that's a real neat example if I was 19. How many of you in here are under age 25? Raise your hand. Very cool. Do you understand that if you understand that chart we just did and all the implications that it means, and you cause those implications to affect your behavior, I just completely made you a multimillionaire if you get that one chart. See, I don't think you ought to be allowed to graduate from college or high school until you can explain that chart. It'll change your life to get that one thing. Now, how many of you in here are like me? You're over 45 years old. Raise your hand. Be proud of it. Good. Now, maybe you've got something kind of boiling inside of you right now. Maybe you got something you want to say to those people in here that are under 25 years old. Maybe you would want to yell at them something like, do it, on three. 1, 2, 3. Young people, did you hear the voice of regret? Now, those of you that are over 45, it's not over. You still got plenty of time. You just don't have as much time. And all you got is all you got. So let's work with what you got. Okay? So let's get going, wherever you are. Some people say, well, am I too old to shave money? Not if you're still sucking wind. You're going to make it. There's all kinds of things you do. You know, Colonel Sanders never fried any chicken commercially until he was 67 years old. Isn't that amazing? Golda Meir, Winston Churchill did everything they did in their 60s and 70s. My family and I were blessed a couple of years ago. We were able to visit the Sistine Chapel in Rome. And as we were taking the tour with this tour lady, she pointed to the back wall of the Sistine Chapel, which is this huge, huge masterpiece of the return of Christ. And it was painted, she said, by a 78-year-old Michelangelo. It's not over until you quit. So wherever you are, you start now. But let's get with it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. If you're 19, you got to do this stuff. If you're 45, let's go. Let's get this done. There's some stuff to do here, people. Let's get moving.